The Golden Hall. Space Station Unity floats in the darkness of space. Inside, 5 powerful alien commanders gather for their military showcase. This event happens once every 100 years. They show off their greatest warships to each other. But this year is different. For the first time, humans have been invited. The 5 alien commanders. Admiral Vex, tall and thin, blue-gray skin, 3 eyes. He commands the Shadow Strike, a ship that can turn invisible. He thinks humans are too weak to be here. Battlemaster Tora, massive, red scales, for shoulders. She commands the World Breaker, the biggest battleship in the galaxy. She believes human ships are like toys. Chief Strategist Mech, insect-like, clicking mouthparts. He commands the Swarm Cloud with thousands of drone fighters. He laughs at the idea of human technology. War General Grell, looks like walking stone, very strong. He commands the Star Shield with unbreakable defenses. He thinks nothing humans build can survive real combat. Thought Admiral Pax, glowing eyes, mental powers. She commands the Mind Weaver that controls enemy minds. She smiles quietly, watching everything. The shocking arrival. The main doors open. Everyone stops talking. A single human walks in. Commander Jack Reynolds wears a simple dark blue uniform. His face shows no fear, no excitement, just calm focus. The aliens tower over him. Admiral Vex is 2 feet taller. Battlemaster Tora's footsteps make the floor shake. But Jack looks at them as equals. The greetings, building tension. Each alien commander introduces themselves. Each greeting carries a hidden insult. Your species achieved much in short time, Tora says. But I hope you won't feel overwhelmed here. We were surprised to hear humans would attend. Vex adds with his 3 eyes blinking. Jack responds with quiet respect. He doesn't boast. He doesn't look scared. This confuses the aliens. The presentations begin. The mediator announces the showcase will begin. Each alien commander will show their greatest warship. Then, at the end, the human will present. Admiral Vex goes first. His Shadow Strike can become completely invisible. No sensor can detect it. Can destroy entire fleets before anyone knows it's there. The crowd gasps in amazement. Jack watches carefully. He takes small notes. His face shows nothing. Battlemaster Tora presents next. Her World Breaker is enormous. Its main weapon can crack a planet's surface from space. The hologram shows it breaking a moon into pieces. Again, the audience is impressed. Again, Jack simply watches and takes notes. One by one, the aliens show their ships. Mech's swarm of thousands of perfect drone fighters. Grell's shields that stop any weapon. Pax's mind control that makes enemies surrender without fighting. After each presentation, the aliens glance at Jack. They expect him to look worried or amazed. But he stays calm. He nods politely at impressive features. Nothing more. The big question, suspense peak. Finally, all 5 aliens have finished. The mediator turns to Jack. Commander Reynolds, the council now welcomes Earth's presentation. Vex smirks. Yes, human. Show us what your young species has built. The room becomes quiet. Jack stands. He walks to the center platform. But he doesn't activate the hologram display. Instead, he looks around the room at all the watching faces. Thank you for your impressive demonstrations, Jack says calmly. Earth's contribution to this showcase is still en route. Confused whispers spread through the crowd. It will arrive tomorrow morning, Jack continues. The mockery. The aliens start laughing. Some mock him openly. Your ship is late? Mech asks, his mouth parts clicking with amusement. Not late, Jack replies. Right on schedule. Some things are worth waiting for. Tora leans forward in her seat. Why not show us holographic data like everyone else? Jack allows himself a small smile. We prefer real demonstrations over simulations. I hope you'll understand tomorrow. The ominous ending. The session ends. The 5 alien commanders gather together, watching Jack leave the chamber. Did you see his face? Vex says. No reaction to our ships. Either humans are too primitive to understand what they saw. Or, Grell asks. Pax speaks softly, still watching the door. Or they have something they believe will impress us. Tora waves her massive hand dismissively. We'll see tomorrow. I suspect we'll all be very underwhelmed. But none of them notice the small smile on Jack's face as he walks down the corridor. None of them see the quiet message he sends from his wrist device. Stage set. Bring her in. The evening reception. That night, a grand party is held in the observation dome. Diplomats and officers from across the galaxy mingle. Floating servers carry colorful drinks. Jack stands alone by the window, watching the alien ships positioned around the station. Admiral Vex approaches with 2 drinks. Admiring superior technology? Human? Jack accepts the drink. I appreciate good engineering when I see it. Your reaction to our presentations was interesting, Vex says. Most newcomers are overwhelmed. Jack smiles. Earth has a saying, never show your cards too early in the game. The confrontation. Tora's booming voice interrupts them. There he is, the human who keeps us waiting. The massive alien commander pushes through the crowd. The other 3 commanders follow her. Why so mysterious about your ship? Tora demands. Surely you could show us at least a diagram? I prefer to let actions speak louder than words, Jack replies calmly. Mech's mouth parts click rapidly. Perhaps there is nothing to show. Perhaps this is just human. What is your word? Bluffing? That would be unwise, Jack says, his voice firm. Earth doesn't bluff about military matters. Grell laughs, his voice like grinding rocks. Tell us, human, what could your species possibly create? You've had space travel for what, a century? We've been crossing the stars for thousands of years. The shocking truth. Jack turns to face all 5 commanders. Other guests have stopped talking to listen. You're right that we're newcomers to space, Jack admits. But you're wrong to think that means we're behind in all ways. Pac steps forward, her glowing eyes studying him. You speak with unusual confidence for someone whose people have never attended this summit. Experience isn't always measured in years, Jack replies. Sometimes it's measured in intensity. What does that mean? Tora demands. Jack looks at each alien commander in turn. How many wars has your species fought in the last 500 years? Battlemaster Tora? The question surprises her. 3 major conflicts. All victories for the Krell Dominion. Jack nods. He asks each alien the same question. Vex. 2 wars of expansion mech. For defensive wars Grell. 1 great war 3 centuries ago Pax. 1 defensive action. Then Jack drops his bombshell. Earth's history includes over 15,000 recorded wars. Before we reached space, we fought over 300 major conflicts just in the last 500 years. Our most devastating war killed nearly 100 million people in 6 years. Complete silence falls over the reception. The realization. That's barbaric, Vex finally says. That's survival, Jack corrects. We learned to build better weapons because we had to. We perfected military technology because failure meant extinction. You're proud of this violent history? Pax asks, her eyes dimming. Not proud, Jack says seriously. But we don't deny what it taught us. While your civilizations were enjoying peace among the stars, we were testing weapons against each other that could level cities in seconds. An uncomfortable silence settles over the group. Tora forces a laugh. Big talk from a small species. Tomorrow we'll see if there's any truth to it. Indeed we will, Jack replies. The aliens' discussion. Later that evening, the 5 commanders gather at the far side of the dome. They speak in low voices. Do you believe what he said? Mech asks. 15,000 wars? Impossible, Grell rumbles. No species could survive that much conflict. Unless they became very, very good at warfare. Vex points out quietly. Tora shakes her head. Talk is easy. Tomorrow we'll see this supposed human warship. I expect to be disappointed. I'm not so certain, Pax says softly. I sense no deception from him. Only anticipation. Morning arrives. The next day comes. Jack stands in his quarters, straightening his uniform. His communication device makes a soft sound. Reynolds here. Commander, this is Captain Lin. We're ready when you are. Perfect timing. Hold position just outside sensor range until I give the signal. Understood, sir. The crew is looking forward to the reveal. Jack smiles. So am I, Captain. When Jack arrives at the presentation chamber, all 5 alien commanders are already waiting. The room buzzes with talk about the mysterious human ship. Commander Reynolds, the mediator says, the Council is eager to see Earth's contribution. Jack takes his place at the center platform. He activates the display. At first, it shows only empty space near the station. Where is it? Someone calls out. Jack taps his device again. Captain Lin, you may bring her in now. The approach. The hologram shifts to show a different area of space. First, nothing changes. Then the sensors detect something entering the system. The display automatically tracks the object. What is that? Vex asks, leaning forward. The object grows larger on the display. The station sensors calculate its distance and size. Then they recalculate. Then they recalculate again. A murmur of disbelief spreads through the crowd. That can't be right, Tora says, staring at the size readings. The sensors must be malfunctioning. The sensors are working perfectly, Jack replies calmly. As the object draws closer, its true form becomes visible. It is a ship, but unlike any ship the aliens have ever seen. Dark, angular, massive beyond comprehension. The station's holographic display struggles to fit the entire vessel in view. The introduction. I present to you, Jack announces, the HSS Leviathan, a mid-sized vessel in Earth's deep space fleet. The room erupts in shocked exclamations. The 5 alien commanders stand frozen. They stare at the impossible ship that makes their prized vessels look like toys. Vex is the first to find his voice. Mid-sized? He asks weakly. Jack nods. Yes, Admiral. We have smaller. And we have much larger. The Leviathan continues its approach. Its shadow falls across the assembled fleet of alien ships. The panic. Suddenly, alarms sound throughout the station. Unauthorized weapon activation detected, the mediator announces. Multiple ships are powering up defensive systems. On secondary displays, the gathered aliens can see their own vessels moving into defensive positions. Shields activate. Weapons come online. Stand down. Grell orders into his communication device. This is not an attack. The same is happening with my ships, Vex says, his 3 eyes blinking rapidly. The automated defense protocols have activated. They've identified the human vessel as a planet-killer class threat. More alarms join the first. The station itself begins emergency procedures. Blast doors seal. Non-essential systems shut down. Space Station Unity is now at Defense Level 1, announces the station's AI. All non-military personnel, please proceed to emergency shelters. Jack's explanation. Pax turns to Jack, her glowing eyes intense. Your ship has triggered every defense system in the sector. What exactly have you brought here? Jack remains remarkably calm. Exactly what I said. A mid-sized battleship. I apologize for the alarm. The Leviathan's passive signature must be stronger than we anticipated. He taps his wrist device. Captain Lin, power down all offensive systems. Broadcast peaceful intentions on all frequencies. Already done, Commander. A clear voice replies. We're showing full transparency to the station and all vessels. No weapons hot. Shields at minimum. Slowly, the alarms quiet. The invitation. The 5 alien commanders huddle together. They speak in urgent tones as they communicate with their ships. Jack turns to the mediator. With your permission, I'd like to invite the 5 commanders aboard the Leviathan for a tour. It might help ease concerns. The mediator's voice sounds surprised. You would allow foreign military leaders aboard your vessel? Of course, Jack says. This is a showcase, after all. And Earth has nothing to hide. The 5 alien commanders exchange looks of uncertainty. Finally, Vex steps forward. I accept the invitation. The others follow his lead, though Grell does so with visible reluctance. The journey. The trip to the Leviathan takes longer than expected. What appeared close in the holographic display is actually much farther away. Another indication of the ship's true size. As their shuttle approaches, the 5 alien commanders press against the viewports. They cannot hide their awe. From this distance, the Leviathan blocks out the stars behind it. A dark mountain floating in space. By the void, Tora whispers. It's even bigger than the scans suggested. Our sensors had difficulty calculating its true dimensions, Jack explains. The hull material absorbs most scanning waves. Inside the beast, the shuttle enters a massive bay that could house any of the aliens' flagship vessels with room to spare. Inside, everything is orderly and efficient. Hundreds of smaller craft, fighters, bombers, support ships, are arranged in perfect rows. Crew members in dark uniforms move with purpose. They barely glance at the arriving shuttle. A woman in a captain's uniform waits for them. "Welcome aboard the Leviathan," she says with a crisp salute. "I'm Captain Lin. Commander Reynolds has arranged a complete tour of our vessel." "How many crew members does this ship require?" Mech asks, watching the humans moving about the bay. "The Leviathan operates with a standard complement of 15,000 personnel," Captain Lin replies, "though it can function with as few as 500 in emergency situations." 15,000? Grell rumbles in disbelief. "The Star Shield requires only 2,000. Different design philosophies," Jack says with a slight smile. "We believe in redundancy." The tour continues. The bridge is massive. A command center with stations for hundreds of officers. Displays show every aspect of the ship's operations. "Your technology seems less advanced than I expected," Vex observes, studying a navigation console. "We favor reliability over flash," Captain Lin replies. "Every system has at least 3 backups. Nothing fails completely." They see crew quarters, medical facilities, and recreational areas. The Leviathan is designed for long deployments. This ship could remain operational for years without resupply, Pax notes. 5 years is the standard deployment, Jack confirms. Though we've never tested the full duration. The weapons. The engineering section reveals massive fusion reactors that power the vessel. 6 primary reactors, 12 secondaries. Chief Engineer Park says proudly. Enough power to run a small moon colony. But it is the weapons control center that finally silences all doubts. Row after row of weapons officers monitor systems that make the aliens' most destructive technologies look primitive. Kinetic impact rails, Weapons Officer Rodriguez explains. They accelerate projectiles to near light speed. No shield can stop them. Plasma lance batteries, she continues. They can cut through capital ships like butter. And what are those? Tora asks, pointing to the largest display where officers monitor massive cylindrical objects. Rodriguez glances at Jack, who nods permission. "Nova bombs," she says simply. "Designed to replicate a small supernova when detonated. We carry 12. The silence that follows is profound. Each alien commander thinks the same thing. Such weapons could destroy not just ships but entire fleets, entire worlds. The question, why? Pax finally asks, her glowing eyes dimmed with horror. Why build such weapons? Jack's expression grows serious. Because we learned early in our history that being unprepared for threats can mean extinction. We built the Leviathan and ships like it not because we want war, but because we never want to face an enemy we cannot defeat. As they prepare to return to the station, Jack adds one more piece of information. There's one more thing you should know. The Leviathan is one of 30 similar vessels in Earth's fleet. Vex's 3 eyes widen in shock. 30? Jack nods. Humanity takes defense seriously. Very seriously. The public demonstration. 2 hours later, the station's observation dome is filled beyond capacity. Representatives from every species gather to watch. Jack coordinates with Captain Lin. "We're in position, Commander. Targeting systems locked on the debris field. Awaiting your command." Today, Jack announces to the audience, the HSS Leviathan will demonstrate 5 key capabilities. He looks at the 5 alien commanders. Each capability corresponds to the specialties your own vessels presented. We believe in learning from our galactic neighbors. Demonstration 1. Stealth. First demonstration. Stealth capabilities. Jack announces, looking at Vex. On the display, the massive battleship shimmers for a moment. Then it disappears. Where did it go? Someone asks. Vex tries to scan the area with his own device. After several minutes of increasingly frustrated attempts, he looks up. Nothing, he admits. Not even a heat signature. The Leviathan reappears suddenly, but in a completely different position than before. The ship didn't just cloak, Jack explains. It moved while undetectable. In combat, this allows us to reposition without enemy knowledge. Demonstration 2. Firepower. Second demonstration. Offensive capabilities. Jack says, gesturing to Tora. Panels along the Leviathan's hull slide open, revealing row after row of weapon ports. Target acquired, Captain Lin's voice announces. Kinetic rail system engaged. A series of flashes erupt from the ship. On the display, several massive chunks of debris simply disappear. They transform instantly into expanding clouds of dust. Those projectiles hit at 98% of light speed, Jack explains. The kinetic energy alone is enough to vaporize most materials instantly. Before the audience can react, new weapon systems activate. Beams of blinding energy melt moon fragments into nothingness. Plasma lance batteries, Jack continues, capable of cutting through any known hull material. Tora's massive form has gone still, watching her specialty being matched and exceeded. Demonstration 3. Drones. Third demonstration. Drone capabilities, Jack announces. Mech's mouthparts click nervously as the Leviathan's massive bay doors open. What emerges is beyond imagination. Not hundreds, but thousands of small craft pour from the ship. Each moves independently, yet in perfect coordination. Our autonomous combat drones are AI-controlled, Jack explains. Each operates with tactical independence but strategic coordination. The swarm of drones flows like water through the debris field. When they attack, they do so with surgical precision. The Leviathan carries 10,000 combat drones, Jack adds. This is approximately 20% of its full capacity. Mech's exoskeleton seems to pale. His swarm cloud carries only 2,000 drones. The final demonstrations. Fourth demonstration. Defensive systems. Jack continues, nodding to Grell. On the display, a massive chunk of destroyed moon accelerates toward the human ship. Impact in 10 seconds, Captain Lin announces. A shimmer appears around the Leviathan as shields activate. But unlike solid-looking barriers of alien ships, these shields appear in distinct layers. The asteroid slams into the outermost shield and disintegrates, not into large chunks, but into fine dust that harmlessly washes over subsequent shield layers. Our defensive approach uses sequential fields, Jack explains. The outer shields break down incoming objects or energy weapons. Each subsequent layer handles a specific type of threat. Nothing has ever penetrated all 7 layers. Grell's massive hands clench into fists. Finally, Jack says, turning to Pax, our 5th demonstration. Psychological warfare countermeasures. Pax's glowing eyes widen. You cannot demonstrate that here. Precisely, Jack says with a slight smile. The Leviathan's psi-dampening field has been active since it entered the system. Had your Mind Weaver attempted to use its psychic technology, your crew would have experienced discomfort. Pax takes an involuntary step back. That's impossible. No species has developed effective counters to Lemnian mental projection. Humanity has faced many challenges throughout our history, Jack replies, including ones that attacked our minds rather than our bodies. We adapted. The aftermath. The demonstration complete, Jack deactivates the display. The observation dome falls silent. The 5 capabilities I've shown you today represent only a fraction of the Leviathan's full systems, Jack says. Earth came late to the stars, but we brought with us thousands of years of military innovation. He looks at each commander in turn. We didn't develop these technologies to threaten our neighbors. We developed them to ensure that humanity would never again face an existential threat without the means to defend itself. The private meeting. The next day, Jack sits alone in the station's garden dome. Pax approaches and asks to join him. "Your ship, your weapons," she says. "They speak of a species unlike any we've encountered." "Our capacity for peace is just as great," Jack replies. "We just never take it for granted." The mediator summons them to a private council meeting. All 5 commanders and Jack gather in a smaller chamber. The human vessel represents a significant shift in the balance of power. The mediator begins. The council must understand Earth's intentions. The proposal. "Earth's intentions are simple," Jack says. "We wish to join the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. The Leviathan and our other ships exist for defense, not aggression." "Defense against what?" Vex asks. "No species in charted space has technology that could threaten your ships." Jack's expression grows serious. "The galaxy is vast, Admiral Vex. Humanity learned early that it's wise to prepare for threats before they arrive, not after." "What does Earth want from the Council?" Grell demands. Jack takes a moment before answering. "Earth wants what every civilization wants: security. We built our ships because our history taught us that strength is respected, and the strong are rarely attacked." "Why reveal them at this summit?" Mech asks. "Because isolation is no longer in our interest," Jack explains. "Humanity has reached a crossroads. We can continue developing alone, or we can join with others. We chose the latter." Jack straightens in his chair. "Earth proposes a new alliance. We offer our defensive capabilities to the Galactic Council, not as conquerors, but as protectors." "The decision. You want to be the galaxy's defenders?" Vex asks incredulously. "We want to share what we've learned," Jack corrects. "Earth has focused on military technology out of necessity. Your civilizations have advanced in other areas while enjoying centuries of relative peace. Together, we could be stronger than we are apart." 3 days later, the vote is held. Representatives from every council species gather to decide. Jack waits outside by the viewport. The 5 alien commanders approach. "Commander Reynolds," Vex says formally, "the council has reached its decision. Earth is accepted as a full member of the Galactic Council. Your proposal for a defensive alliance has been approved. The conditions are simple: knowledge exchange training programs, oversight committees, cultural exchange." "Earth accepts these conditions," Jack says with a smile. The new beginning. As the Leviathan prepares to depart, the 5 commanders join Jack in the observation dome one final time. They watch as their vessels move into formation around the human battleship. Not in challenge, but in escort. "To think," Tora says with a laugh, "we once boasted about our ships." "Your ships are still impressive," Jack assures her. "They're simply different. Perhaps that is what makes this alliance valuable," Pax says thoughtfully. "Not sameness, but difference. Each contributing what others cannot." As they watch their ships move together through space, they stand not as rivals, but as allies. The boasting is over. Understanding has taken its place. Humanity has arrived among the stars, not as conquerors, not as subjects, but as guardians.